So here we are into the second season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This season is the season that kind of elevates the show into the phenomenon that it became. This is where the show really finds its footing, really gets running, and just becomes great. And so the show starts off. Buffy is gone. She went to LA to spend time with her dad. And so so Xander and Willow are just, they're just kind of walking around. There hasn't really been any vampires. Everything's kind of just chill and relax. And they're kind of cutesy, Willow and Xander. He almost kisses her. There's a moment where they almost kiss. There's a connection. And they hesitate for a moment, and then a vampire attacks, and then Buffy shows up, and the moment is gone. And you could see the utter devastation on Willow's face and the utter joy on Xander's. And right before that moment, Xander was talking about Buffy and how much he misses her and how he still has feelings for her. And Xander gets a lot of hate online. And I don't think all of it is justified. But right here is an example of, and the last episode of season 1 was another example of it, of him taking Willow for granted and him using her as backup. More in this one than in Prophecy Girl, I think. Buffy wasn't there, and him almost moving in, and I'm sure it wasn't like a conscious thought, but if he's not interested in Willow, he shouldn't be doing things like that. He shouldn't be leading her on and giving her hope. That's not cool. That's fucked up. And it's definitely something that I think Xander deserves to be criticized for. Because it's not right. But we find out, very quickly from the way she acts and from all this that Buffy is dealing with a lot as well. This episode overall is very much about Buffy dealing with PTSD from dying, from the Master killing her. She's moody, she's combative, she's distant. She's not at all her normal self. And she's very unpleasant. And Hank and Joyce have a conversation about it, and Hank doesn't do a great job of expressing it, but that's clearly what he's trying to say. Like, there's something wrong with her, and I don't know how to reach her. I don't know how to get her to open up and to let me in. And you could tell it pains him. This is still a part of the show where Hank is trying to be a somewhat decent dad. That changes very quickly. But you could tell at this point in time, he does care about her. We also get some foreshadowing in this scene of Buffy getting expelled. Joyce is very much like, I just hope she makes it through school and she doesn't get thrown out of school. That's all she cares about. It's very important. this foreshadowing. Then we get, reintroduced to Cordelia, just being rich and complaining about how great she has it, that her vacation in Europe had a detour to another country in Europe, and oh my God, the pain. Giles is talking to Snyder, and Snyder's criticizing young men and how girl crazy they are, while we see Giles be girl crazy over Jenny, and we see their romance kind of bubbling a little bit, which is cute, which, we're excited for. Look at Giles get it. So then the whole Scooby Gang and Jenny all meet up in the hall, and very quickly Giles puts together there's something amiss with Buffy. She's not herself. Xander and Willow oblivious. Giles sees it immediately. Just another reason why this man is Father of the Year. And he asks her, but she just kind of blows it off. She doesn't want to deal with it. I don't even know if Buffy at this point realizes there's something wrong with her. She's scared, she's upset, she's angry, and she's lashing out at the people closest to her. I don't think she realizes why. I don't think she's cognitive of it. We also find out that there's a whole new group of vampires who are kind of going around the Anointed One, which kind of explains why the vampires have been laying up. They've been building up their base. They've been building up their army. They're planning something. There's kind of a preacher vampire who's standing at the right hand of the Anointed One, kind of doing all the talking, using the Anointed One as a prop, kind of, I feel like, to boost his own status a little bit. Buffy is sleeping and is woken up by Angel just coming in her bedroom because the man knows no boundaries. But he's there for a reason. He's not just there like Edward to watch her sleep and be stalkery. He's warning her. He found out the Anointed One is amassing an army, and he's there to tell her about it. But she's not having it. She's mean, rude, bitchy. She snaps at him, tells him to leave. She wants nothing to do with him. So Angel just leaves, and he's like, look, I missed you. And then she turns around to tell him she misses him too, to try to open up and connect, but he's Angel. Like, when he's gone, he's gone. You can't, there's no stopping that man. So he didn't hear her. It's the first time in this episode that Buffy starts to lighten up and starts to open up a little bit, but it's too late. You know, she's really good at alienating people. And it's not her fault. Like, she went through something crazy traumatic and she doesn't know how to deal with it. And the people around her are trying to reach out, and instead of telling them, like, I'm going through this, she's like, I hate you all. The next day at school, Cordy reaches out to them, and she's like, the Three Musketeers. She's trying to bond with them, but Buffy's just ruthless, mean. But very much like this is when you start to see Cordy's brains. She's not just sass and snark. She's brains too. Like, just like Hank and Giles, Cordy figures out there's something wrong with Buffy. She's not herself. She's going through something. She's dealing with something. And after that, Willow starts to put it together too. But Willow didn't put it together until Cordelia straight up pointed it out. But Xander still doesn't see it. Xander he's oblivious. Willow tries to reconnect with Xander. In the earlier scene when they almost kissed, she had a little ice cream on her nose, and that's when they almost kissed. So she puts a little ice cream on her nose to try to get him to do it, and he's just like, oh, you have something on your nose, and just looks away. Couldn't care less. Completely over the moment he had with Willow. And it's just sad, you know? That moment's gone, and it's never going to come back, at least not for a year and a half when it destroys everything. The vampires, we find out that the Anointed One has some kind of special ability to kind of control these vampires. They're digging up the ground. The ground has been blessed, so it's all holy water on it. They burn, and he tells them to do it anyways, and so they just keep doing it anyways, and they dig up the Master's bones. Back at the Bronze, Buffy shows up in this hot little red dress, and Angel tries once again to reach out to her, to connect to her, to try to build a rapport with her, and once again she blows him off like he means nothing, is out and out mean to him. And then she just goes up to Xander, asks him to dance, and dances all seductively with him. And Xander, like I said earlier in this episode, Xander gets a lot of hate for how he acts and the things he does. Buffy gets a pass for so much. But even Buffy gets nowhere near as many passes as Willow. We'll get to Willow. And I understand Buffy's going through something. 100%. She's going through a lot. What she went through is more than most people could ever handle. But that being said, this thing she's doing with Xander is not okay. It's not acceptable. Her dancing on Xander like she wants him, like he's special, like she's into him, is cruel to three people. It's cruel to Angel, who she's doing this to make jealous and to torment just because she wants him to hurt. He didn't do anything to her. She's hurting, so she wants him to hurt. So she does this to make him hurt. That's not okay. It's cruel to Xander because she knows he has feelings for her. She knows that he has a crush on her, and it's not reciprocated, and that's fine. She doesn't have to reciprocate it. But her using him to make someone else jealous is cruel. It's mean. It's very unethical. And she never gets called out for this. It's fucked up. It really is fucked up. And then on top of that, Willow is her best friend, and she knows how Willow feels about Xander. And her dancing with Xander like that in front of Willow is just mean as well. And she didn't think about Willow and Xander in this. They're her best friends, and she didn't once for a second stop to think how her actions would affect them. All she was thinking about was, me doing this will hurt Angel. And then when she leaves, she tells Xander, have I thanked you yet? Do you want me to? Just tormenting the poor boy. Like, she's leading him on just to hurt him, just to hurt Angel, because she feels pain and she wants other people to feel pain too. So I take it back. She 100% wanted her Xander. I think the only person she hurt unintentionally in that scene was Willow. I don't think she thought about Willow at all. But she wanted to hurt Xander and Angel because she was hurting. And that is not okay. That's not okay. I don't care what you're going through. It's never okay. Just because you're in pain, it doesn't give you the right to put that pain on other people. And I do think that needs to be called out. It needs to be addressed because it's just plain cruel. Outside the bronze, Buffy confronts Cordy. Swap that. Outside the bronze, Cordy confronts Buffy and is like, look, I don't know what's going on with you, but you need to get over it. You're going to alienate the friends you have. You're going to find yourself alone with nobody if you don't grow up and just get over whatever the fuck's wrong with you. Like, Cordy is rude, but she's right. She could have said it in a nicer way, but then I want to be Cordy. She's blunt and to the point, but she's 100% correct. And Buffy she's not in the right headspace to hear it, so she blows her off, walks away, and right behind her, Cordelia gets kidnapped. She gets thrown in a room, Jenny Calendar's already there, and we're like, oh, the vampires are collecting people. Buffy finds out the Master's grave has been dug up, and she's not happy. At school, Willow and Xander start talking to Giles to figure out what's wrong with Buffy, because now Xander's on board. Well, Xander's still like, maybe she just likes me. Maybe Buffy has feelings for me, which is why I'm telling you, it was cruel. It was mean. It was not okay or acceptable. You don't get the right to lead somebody on just because you're in a bad mood. That's not acceptable behavior. Willow says to Giles, like, she's acting like such a bitch. And Giles is like, we're long past spelling words out, Willow. And then Xander's like, Bicca? She's a Bicca? What is a Bicca? I'm just like, oh my God, Xander. Why do you exist? Oh my God, it's one of my favorite scenes. That always makes me laugh. It's so stupid, but it's so funny. Giles immediately just spells out what's wrong with him. He doesn't use the term PTSD. It's the 90s. It doesn't get thrown around back then like it does now, but he explains it. He's like, look, she hasn't dealt with what happened. She's dealing with a lot. She doesn't know how to process like this, so she's acting out. Buffy shows up. He stops talking, and she confronts him about the Master. Like, you said this wasn't possible. How's this happening? Giles is like, we'll figure this out. Willow's like, we stopped him once, we can stop him again. Buffy's like, I don't need this from you guys. This is a Slayer business. Stay the hell out of it. Xander stands up for Willow's like, that's just about enough of you. Like, Xander confronts Buffy like he's going to fight for Willow. I was so proud of him. Before Buffy's taken back. But before she can say anything else, Snyder comes up. They all leave, and we get the second hint from Snyder right here when he's talking to Giles that Buffy's going to be expelled. It's 2 hints in 1 episode that Buffy's on the track for expulsion. Remember that for the end of the season. Giles finds out through a poor translation, not that he did, that he read, that the person closest to the Master is needed to bring it back. So Buffy thinks that means her. Because she's like, I killed him. That makes us close. They find out Cordy's been kidnapped. Willow and Xander and even Giles are like, we need to come up with a plan. We need to figure out how we're going to do this. And Buffy's like, no, I am the plan. I'll get her back. I don't need help from any of you. You're all just get in the way. You're all holding me back. And she storms off on her own. Angel shows up and he tries to help her out. She blows him off. He ignores her. He goes in and helps anyways. And inside there's one vampire. Angel's very much like, well, hold on. This isn't right. There's the bait, but where's the trap? And it's not until he says that Buffy's like, oh shit, the trap's back at the bronze. And while this is happening, we see back at the bronze, not the bronze, they're at the bronze, back at the library. Back at the library, Giles figures out the people nearest the Master when he died. and that the translation was wrong. And right as he's saying that, vampires attack. Buffy gets back there just in time to find the library in ruins, and Giles and Willow are gone. Xander's the only one left. And Xander, rightly so, blames it all on Buffy. He's like, look, if you had stayed here and tried to figure this out with us, this wouldn't have happened. But you were so gung-ho to push us away. You made this happen. You could have protected us. And you could tell it hurts her. He then tells her, like, if anything happens to Willow, I'll kill you. And then she turns on him like, well, why didn't they take you? Like he's working with the vampires. Because she can't take responsibility for the fact that she caused it. She knows she caused it, but she doesn't want to take responsibility for it. And he tells her the real translation. So then they're like, okay, we have to go find him. They go back. Buffy tortures, and I mean tortures, like puts a cross in the mouth and closes the mouth of the vampire girl until the vampire tells him what she wants. And now she's finally letting Angel and Xander in. Not like with the emotional stuff she's going through, but she's letting them help her without pushing them away. They show up just as the ritual is starting. And Buffy goes to fight the vampires while Angel and Xander go to free the others. The Anointed One flees right away. He just runs. As soon as he sees, like, oh, this shit's not going to go well, he takes off. Xander and Angel save the others, slay a vampire to themselves. Buffy takes out most of the vampires and then just wells on one. Works out all of her aggression, all of her frustration on this one vampire. You could tell it was cathartic for her. Then the preacher vampire comes back in with a hammer, and she kills him and another vampire at the same time with a torch, stakes one, burns the other like it's nothing. Then she picks up that sledgehammer and she beats the shit. She grinds those bones to dust. And when she's done, Angel holds her and she just starts crying. And I think it's the first time she's cried since she died. Like it comes out. The next day, Giles assures her, like, look, you were going through something. They'll understand. Just reach out to them. They're your friends. They'll accept you. It's going to be okay. You went through a lot, but this is not going to be easy, but you'll get through this. And then she walks into class, and Xander and Willow, they make it easy. They embrace her, not physically. They're all sitting in class, but you know what I mean. Like they welcome her back to the fold. They start joking. They make fun of the situation lightly, and they're like, they're not going to make her apologize. They're not going to make her work for forgiveness or acceptance. They're just like, we get it. Welcome back. And that's the episode. There's a little post then where the Anointed One is just like, I hate that girl. But it's a strong start to season 2. It's a lot of fun. It's deep. It's about something, and it deals with characters in a way that is a very hallmark of what this show is and what this show could be. And I can't wait to get further into season 2. Give us legends.